I have been challenged, I guess. I don't know. This here 2014 Kia Sedona has been sent here because it has an oil leak, and it came from a Kia dealership that tried to fix the oil leak 3 times, and for some reason they couldn't fix it. Kia dealership working on a Kia can't fix it, so then they send it to me. Well, challenge accepted. Welcome to Shop Foreman Garage. My name is Mike, and today we are working with World Car Auto Group. What does this guy think he's doing? Trying to prove himself to the world? I don't know about that. At the time that this was filmed, I think I had about 171 subscribers, and that's amazing to me, to have people that want to watch my content. You know, I mean, 171 subscribers. Some people, you know, would probably say, you know, I had 1,000 subscribers in 30 days. You know, well, that's not normal. You know, and to know that there are 171 people out there that would like to see, you know, what I'm doing, I think that's great. Yeah, World Car Auto Group has been amazing. They have helped me so much. If it wasn't for World Car Auto Group, I wouldn't have any content at all. And while other YouTubers can just make up some content and just film a video every day or whatever they want to do, I have to have something to work on to have content. And if it wasn't for World Car Auto Group, I wouldn't have anything to work on. I wouldn't have any content at all. So it's a shame that somebody has to break down for me to be able to have content. But that's just the way it goes. It's not the kind of content that I was actually looking for my YouTube channel. I wanted to highlight the check engine light as as something that people always have a problem with, a check engine light. You know, they always have that little light shining in their face, and I wanted to show that you can diagnose it yourself, but it's not as easy as a lot of people think. They think they just plug something into a data link connector and use their phone and it'll tell them how to fix the car or what to replace. And it's a lot more than that. And I want to show people that this is how you diagnose it correctly, and this is how you can fix your vehicle. But the content that I really wanted was more along the lines of being able to fix vehicles. I have a track and drive and drag car that I'm building. I want to build a drag racing car. I have some other projects, some other vehicles that I like to fix up, replace the engines, get them running better than they were before, and get them out on the road. Just to see a vehicle sitting out in a pasture somewhere, just rotting, it's just, to me, it's just not right. You know, you have to try and get these vehicles back on the road, give them a new life. And that's what the kind of content that I want to turn towards. And the problem is, it takes money. So I am working on getting the funds and stuff so that I can start doing this content, building these engines, building it up nice. The drag and drive car, if it turns out to be the way that I want it to be, it's going to be nice. It really is. I want to put a little bit more humor in my videos. Try and relax. You know, whenever you hit that record button, it makes you feel like you just want to hurry up and rush. You know, it's like I don't want to make it boring. You know, I need to hurry up and rush, and I think I need to slow down. And I'm gonna get better. You know, I am. It's gonna take a little bit of time, but I'm gonna get better at making videos, and that's one of the big parts of being on this journey, and I love it, and I hope you do too, and the subscribers they're just amazing to me. Oh no. These engines, there's a known issue where the oil pressure sending unit starts to just pour out oil, and it makes the thing look like it has a leak at the rear main seal. It's definitely been misdiagnosed before. Not this vehicle, but vehicles in the past have been misdiagnosed as having a rear main seal leaking when it's actually a oil pressure sending unit that's leaking up here. And there are certain V6 engines that Kia has added a warranty extension just for that oil pressure sending unit. Unfortunately, this one does not have that warranty extension, so this vehicle came along before they started having that problem. That doesn't mean that the oil pressure sending unit's good. I mean, it could be bad. And the customer's complaining about a oil leak, so they're saying that oil is leaking on the garage floor. So let's get under this thing and see where we can see oil leaking from. Okay, let's get under here and see what we can see. I do see there's some oil dripping right there. That is definitely a drip. I don't see any oil dripping from up there, but definitely right here, right at the back of the engine, you know, right where it would look like there's a rear main seal leaking. And you can see somebody took the cover off up there. I don't feel any oil on the, of course I already got oil on my hands, so, but I really don't feel any oil or anything on the flywheel right there, which, you know, could point towards rear main seal leaking. Of course, you don't have to have oil on the flywheel to have a rear main seal leak. And I don't see any oil dripping down from up there. So this is definitely where the customer's complaining about oil leaking, and you can see that it's gotten all over everything on this subframe. It's right here just from driving it. So let's go back up top and see if we can see where this is coming from. So this engine, the V6 engine, and the oil pressure sending unit sits right down in the valley. So the valley is the part of the engine that's between the cylinder heads. You get a cylinder head on one side, cylinder head on the other, and there is a valley in there, and there's some pipes and tubes and wires and stuff under there, but that's where the oil pressure sending unit sits. And if it leaks, then it'll leak right down into that valley there, and it'll go along this valley, which is under here, under all this stuff right here. And it will go along the valley, and there are drains at the back of the valley there where the oil can drain out. And when it drains out, of course, it goes around the transmission and between the transmission and the engine, and it comes out down below, and it looks like a rear main seal leaking. So we know there's oil down there that looks like a rear main seal leak, but we want to see, is there oil in the valley? Because there shouldn't be any oil in there. And with all this stuff on top right here, the best way to do that is to stick a bore scope. So we're gonna stick a bore scope down in there, move it around, try and see if there's oil in there. And if there is, we'll see if we can see where it's coming from. If we can't, then we're gonna have to clean it out. And yeah, that's not gonna be easy, but we'll have to flush it out so there's no oil, so then we can see where the oil is coming from. So let's get doing that right now. Hi, how are you? Oh, me? I'm just looking for an oil leak. Trying to get my tablet set up here with the bore scope. See if I can get some kind of communication going. Gotta get the Wi-Fi. Come on. How does this work? What? Attach. Go. What is it doing? It's on. Go. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's connecting. Hello? Hello? There it is. Okay, let me put this somewhere. Get this. Give that back. Okay. I'm gonna shove this down in there and see what I can see. And if I see something, I'll let you. Oh yeah. Oh 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 yeah. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let me get you in here. You can see what's going on. Okay, hopefully you can see this. I'm sticking this probe down into this valley here, and you can see right there in the bottom. That's a bunch of oil right there on this side. On both sides, it's just pooled up right there. And let me see if I can get around this big tube right here. Get in there. Where is it? Come on. Okay, so right below that harness, if I can get this thing in the right spot, that's the oil pressure sending unit right there. Right there. That's the oil pressure sending unit. That thing right there. And I need to try and get below it. I mean, it definitely looks like it's wet, or at least it's shiny, you know. If I can get this probe below it, start it up and see if it's shooting any oil out. So let me try and get this in some kind of location, and I'll bring you back and we'll see what we can see. Okay, so I have this probe going down on this side, looking that way, and I don't know if you can see, it's kind of sideways. So there's the back of the oil pressure sending unit, and here's the bottom of the valley. So we're actually kind of sitting like this. So I don't know why this is Wi-Fi, right? Yet if I get this further away from the tablet, it starts losing communication. I actually gotta kind of move the thing just to make sure that it's still communicating. It's just not giving me a still picture. So let me set you up here, and I am going to start it up, and we'll see if that thing's leaking. So that thing right there, and this wiring harness is in the way, but it should be dripping down. If it's coming from that, it could be coming from something else, in which we may have to clean this out. But let me start it up and see if it starts leaking. Is it leaking? Is it even communicating? Yeah. Looking for oil dripping down here. I do not see anything leaking from there. That big bolt right there, that's one of the knock sensors that sits down in there. Try and get closer. It kind of goes wherever it wants. I don't see oil dripping from there. I just lost communication. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. Let me clean out that valley and see if I can see what's going on with this. Nothing to see here. Just flushing her out. Whew. Got some kick. Oh. Ain't that a smell? Whew. Hey, look at this. I have something to show you. This CX-5, this Mazda CX-5 right here. Customer came in complaining about their front radiator's not working right or something. The thing is like slamming on the brakes on them or something like that. And turned out the front air flap was not communicating. And then I found this. Yeah, that, if you can see that, that is a nest. That's a rat's nest right there. And all the wiring up there is all chewed up. And chewed up everything. It's gonna be a fun one. Okay, so I got the borescope back down in there, and this is what it looks like when I got it cleaned out. This is the very end of it. So we're looking down this way underneath that piece, and we're looking at the end. We're looking for any kind of oil that's going to come around here. This spot up here, I don't know if you can see it when I move the light. You can see the light moving through. That's shining this light down in here, and you can see it flickering around. So that's just on that side. So that's the end. I'm looking to see if maybe we get some kind of oil dripping down this way. This is up here is where the oil pressure sending unit is. So we'll see if it's leaking anywhere here. We should be able to see it. So now we're in the borescope, and you can see that little pool on the right there. That was already there. It has not grown. I've been watching it for a while. It's been running. So I'm thinking maybe it's not leaking oil on this side. Maybe it's on the other side, the side that I'm coming from, which means that we probably need to clean that side out too. I try and pull this thing back, see if I can get a look at anything. It is so hard to control this thing. And there's definitely oil there, but we didn't clean this side out. We cleaned out as much as possibly could from the other side anyway. And this engine is getting very hot now. So, I mean, everything over here in the back part of the engine is definitely wet. Let me see if I can clean this out. Definitely oil all over the top of this. Maybe. Oh, it's possible it could be coming from one of these valve covers, I guess. Around the intake manifold. Let me clean this up and see if we can see anything leaking from there. Okay, so now we're looking the other way, and that right there in the center, that's a little hole right there. That's a valley. That's the end of the valley, and that is one of the drains at the end of the valley that it drains down onto the top of the transmission. And you can see there's an end there. So in order to get oil down in here, it's got to run down these sides. And I'll try and get the thing to go up so I can see. I can almost see up there. So maybe at the top up there is where it's dripping down. I'm going to have to run it and see if I see anything happening over here. I can move my light around, and it's hard to see in there. That's the best I can do. So let me start it up, see what happens. Okay, so I've been running this vehicle for a while. It got so bad I had to take the probe out because it was just getting too hot, and you couldn't see with all the heat. It was actually getting to the probe. But I went ahead and I drove this vehicle, and I don't see any oil down there. I mean, everything looks clean. There's little spots of oil from from where it was before that I just can't get out. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going ahead and just let this thing run. Just keep it running until I start to see oil accumulate somewhere. And I'm gonna have to figure something out there. Yeah, well, I guess it was a challenge. I don't know. We'll see what happens with this. But in the meantime, I do have this. Yeah. So we can start working on this Mazda, start tearing the front bumper off and get that rat's nest out of there, find out what kind of damage there is. Why don't we let's, I don't know, work on this for right now. See what happens. Clip after clip after clip. You got your clip. Ooh. Nasty. Looks like a bunch of rope in there. Sounds like a mop or something. We shall soon find out. Oh, there's a clip. Okay. Let's see what do we got here? Ooh. Pom-poms. Tree brush. Trees, leaves. Hello? Anybody in there? Come out. I don't think there's anybody home. That's a good thing. Okay. Let's finish getting this bumper off. We got some wires down here. What in the heck is going on here? Are you kidding? Well, I can't see nothing. I think should be a big connector up here, maybe? No connectors. Just a bunch of wire and harness stuff. That's good. That's nice. That's good. That's off. What about that? What about you? Are you coming? Yeah. What about that one? Uh-huh. Oh, you saw it? You saw that. You knew it. You knew I was... Oh, it's off. And this side, what are we dealing with here? Grab this thing. Oops, don't break that. Pull it. Whoa. Oh yeah. Wait till you see this. Only got one connector on this side. I wonder why. Why is there only one connector on this side? And like a gillion over on the other side. What's this? Somebody didn't take a clip off. Why, huh? Why isn't this clip removed? How can I work in these conditions? Get out of there. Okay. Now, let's see what we can find behind this bumper number one. I'll get you in here. You can see the damages. So, there's a bunch of wire right there. It's been deleted, as you can see. Hey, there ain't nothing left of it. This is the one clip that's on this side, the unconnector. That's their windshield washer. What is that? Oh. That's either the pump or the level sensor. Oh no, this is the pump, because it's got the hoses on it. So they don't want you washing your windshield. They don't want you knowing that your windshield washer is empty. And here's the flap, the front air flap actuator. And that's been deleted too. Probably goes over here somewhere. Look at all these wires. We don't know what color goes where. There's two red wires. Which one goes where? Look, there's a couple blue. This purple and blue one right here. We don't know what that goes through. We don't know what this goes to. Yeah. So, need to assess the situation and find out if we can fix these pigtail assemblies, or we gotta just replace the whole wiring harness. So I will look into that and see what we can do about it. And as for that other one over there, we just need to run it until it starts leaking oil, and then we can find the oil leak, hopefully, you know, if it even has the oil leak. I don't know, it's got to. Well, we'll find out. Stop, look twice. There's another motorcycle in paradise. Stop, look twice. There's another motorcycle, a motorcycle in paradise. Wonder what Phil Collins is doing. Haven't heard anything in a while. Should look twice for motorcycles, guys. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they're out there. They're everywhere. Some of the nicest people I have ever met in my life drive motorcycles. It's true. They will give a stranger the shirt off their back, and I ain't kidding you. It's been a while since I felt the wind in my hair. But I'm procrastinating. Look at this. Look what I found. This right here is the connector, and you can see it's got a bunch of wires going to it and everything. But I take this connector out, there's nothing in there. It doesn't go to anything. This has a delete kit. It's been deleted. It has no fog lamps. So everything that this plugged into, we don't even need. So this wire right here, which is wrapped up with a couple wires, goes to this. I'm pretty sure of it. And that's going to take care of this, and that's going to take care of that code we got. This one, it's got one wire deleted right here. And I mean, I can guess. Maybe it's this red wire over here, or maybe it's this one. I'm guessing it's probably that one right there. These two wires right here, I'm guessing, go down to there for your level sensor. And then we could probably easily find which two wires here just by checking our powers and ground whenever we hit the switch for the windshield wiper. All the other ones, we'll just delete them. We don't need them. So that should be an easy repair for the customer, and then they ain't got to spend all the money on the wiring harness. The problem is this connector doesn't matter. And we're going to delete the wires that go to this thing. You can see how chewed up that is. It's ridiculous. But this one down here, let me see if I can get this off. What's going on here? It doesn't want to come off because it's all chewed up. I don't know if you can see that. You see how chewed up it is? But those wires, that's going to be an issue because the thing is chewed away so bad. I might be able to get those pins out of there. I'm probably going to have to replace the pins. But I'll see if I can find a connector that looks something like this that we can replace it with. So I am going to get an estimate for the customer and see if I have that connector, and we'll do that right now. Okay, so we got authorization to do this repair, and look at this. I got a pigtail connector to replace this one right here. This one that's all messed up on the back. So it's a good thing. That's what you get for hoarding old wiring harnesses cut into pigtails. And I actually found this one, and it's the right one, and it fits right inside here. This light on fits right inside that thing right there. But what we need to do is figure out where these wires go. I can guess that this wire goes right here, but this connector we don't need because it goes to a fog lamp that we don't have. I have these two wires right here. This purple and blue does not match up into anything. This one is blue and red. And if I look at this schematic down here, here's the washer motor, and it comes through the system here, and it just reverses polarity. So one it says L means blue, and R is red, so it's blue and red. And of course we can see that these are blue and red. This one could match up to here, but I think that it goes to this one. This one is longer, so it may actually be stuffed up in there somewhere, so I'm gonna have to pull this apart. What I want to be careful about is this connector right here still has tape around it, and I know that this connects here and that goes to our air flap module right there. So I don't want to get these mixed up with anything else, although it's going to need some repair up here. So we're probably going to have to add wire to some of these. And we have black and blue wire right here. This connector right here takes, it's on a separate diagram for the instrument cluster. So washer fluid level, it takes L, that's blue, and black. So maybe these, maybe not. We need to test these circuits to find out what is what. And the easiest one to test, well, is to find out where these two, or what we think these two are, and put a test light in between them, because they reverse polarity. So whenever we put the front wiper or front washer on, or the rear washer on, either way we should get power and ground, and that'll let us know that we are on the right circuit. And of course we'll just match the red to red and blue to blue, and we'll have our front and rear washer working right. As far as this washer fluid sensor, it doesn't matter what color. Well, I mean, it has to be blue and black, but it doesn't matter which one goes where, because it's just a sensor. So no matter what, it's going to be telling us if it's low on fluid or not. So it could be these two, and if it is, I can just put these two together and see if the light turns on or turns off. But that could be a bad deal. I would need to check and see if we got some major power going through any of this, because I don't want to short out a system, cause, you know, wires to burn and a fire and stuff like that. So let me set this up so we can do some testing. Okay, so I got a couple of these wires. I got the covers pushed back on them so we can get to the ends of them, and I'm going to hook this tester up to this, looking for red and blue. We got this blue and we got this blue. This one's shorter, this one seems to be the same length. Of course that doesn't really mean anything, but I'm gonna go ahead and try these two. I'm gonna hook these two up, and we're looking for the windshield washer to operate. Of course it's not gonna operate. I got this thing hooked into the test light right here, and I got the other side to this test light. So whenever I actuate the windshield washer for the front, it should light up, and then when I actuate the windshield washer for the rear, it should light up also. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit those switches right now, and let's see if it lights up. Turning the key on, hit the front windshield washer. No, nothing. Windshield wiper's going. Hit the rear windshield washer, nothing. Okay, so that's not it. Maybe it is this other blue one. So I'm gonna check this blue one instead. I'm just gonna move this over to this blue one right there. Leave that red one on, and let's try it again. Going to actuate the front washer first. Turn the key on. Front washer, yes. Rear washer, yes. Okay, so those are the right circuits for the washer pump. So now we can do that repair. Okay, I have these two wires right here, and the wiring that goes to the reservoir level sensor is supposed to be blue and black. So before we test these, we'd have to put these together to see if the windshield washer comes on. Before we do that, we want to make sure we don't have some major power going through here. This is black, so this is ground, most common on most vehicles, black is ground. And I can tell you that for sure on Mazda. You just got to make sure that it's a black, complete black wire, and it doesn't have another color on it, or maybe some striping or something like that. And this is complete black, so this is ground. So the first thing I'm going to do is let's go look at the cluster. So when I turn the key on, well, it shows that the door's open, but I'm not getting anything or saying that the windshield washer fluid is low or anything like that. Okay, so now I'm going to leave the key on, and we're going to test this wire. I have this small connector hooked to the ground on my test light here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a load on it with a test light. So it's supposed to be just a sensing circuit, shouldn't have a bunch of power going through it. So the test light should not light. If the test light lights, it's probably the wrong circuit. So I'm just going to touch this together, and I'm not getting anything. No lighting, the test light or anything. So there is no major power going through there. So what I'm going to do now is hook this alligator clip onto the other end of this, and I should click this on here. I don't see any smoke. That's good. Let's check and see if the windshield washer thing is coming on. I don't see anything yet. Let it cycle. There it is right there. Windshield washer fluid low. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but that is definitely the circuit. I turn the key off. So that is definitely the circuit. So we have the two circuits that we need. And the rest, we can just cut those lines, and we're going to isolate them because they're not needed, because it has the a fog lamp delete kit, you know, on it. So I'm going to go ahead and all those other wires, we're going to cut back and isolate them, and then we're going to solder the wires for the windshield washer fluid and the washer level sensor, get those in, and then we can move on to the air flap module harness. Now I have the wires that I need to save, I have them isolated. So these wires that I twisted together go to the pump, blue and red wires, and then these two wires right here, I have a piece of tape on. These go to the sensor, these black and blue wires. Now I need to cut this thing back, and all these other wires I need to get rid of, including this one. We're not going to need this one anymore. No sense in doing a repair on it. Plus we need to get this out of the way, because these wires we need to repair way up here, and this one looks like it goes into a connector or something right there. So let's cut this out, cut these wires back and isolate them, and then we can start to do the repair. So I'm gonna cut this open. No sense in taking it off, because I need to cut it open anyway. So these wires right here need to move, because we're gonna have to repair those next. This, I believe, has a shielding. So shielding in it. This is a sensor wire, and we're gonna have to do those repairs. Those go on to the air flap control module. These are for the pump. These two are for the sensor, and all of these other wires we can get rid of. So I'm going to cut all these other wires, and I'm going to go ahead going to cut them right down through here so they can go in but they can't come out. And I'm going to cut them individually. And if you cut wires like this, you don't want to just grab the whole thing and just cut them, because if there is power going through some of them and ground going through the other, then you just cause a short, blow a fuse, burn up some wiring, a circuit, a module, you never know. It's just a good idea to cut them all individually. Oh, I don't want to cut that one. And then this one right here. And then I'm going to put ends on those so that they can't ever short up against anything or anything like that. So this wire right here should be easy enough. It's gonna reach. I just need to cut these back to where they're good on both sides, and see if I need to add any wire. So just gonna cut the ends off of those. That right there is the worst spot. This one's not bad. That one right there. Okay, so I'm gonna solder these. These might not go through this wiring loom right here anymore, but that's fine. We can wrap them ourselves if we need to, but for now we're just going to do the repair on them. So I say let's just start right there. So this is what I'm going to use to solder this together. It is a butane controlled soldering pen, which has this flat connector right here. You can change these tips out. This tip, it works good for me. It has kind of this flat surface, and it's easy to get this pushed up against the wiring so we can get a good transfer of heat. This thing can kind of be a pain to start. Let's see if it's actually started, or is it just... I can hear it start and then it cuts out. Let's turn it down a little bit. Definitely hot. It's just not. Oh yeah, it's glowing in there. I don't know if you can see that glowing inside of there. Anyway, I want to aim it towards the lens. So these work really good. They get hot really quick. The only thing you got to watch out for is this very top part, is the exhaust. The good part about having this exhaust right here is you can use it for doing heat shrink. So I got that going. I'm going to set it on the side, let it get good and hot. So now I need to prep this, and this is the way I do my wiring. It's not anything special, but this is just the way that I do it. Some people, instructors, whatever, they want you to intertwine wires and stuff like that, and it's just not practical for me anyway. It just doesn't work that good, especially in tight spots. Luckily we're not in a really tight spot right here. So what I do is I'm going to tin the wire. And what I mean by that is I'm going to get some solder. I'm going to heat it up. Heat up the end. Until it sucks some solder into it, just like that. And it's called tinning the tip, tinning the wire, like putting tin on it. It's solder. It says a rosin core, regular old solder. And I'm gonna do the same thing to this side over here. You get it hot. You get it hot enough, it will start sucking the solder in to it just like that. And that one I got a little bit too much, but that's all right. So that's just those ends right there. On this end down here, I'm gonna take this connector apart. And I'm going to do the same thing. This little thing right here, I got from Matco, and it helps a lot. It's like a third hand. It's got these magnets on it. They come off, and you could put them anywhere. But they work together with this thing, and it's just so much easier with something like that. So I'm gonna get these and do the same thing to these. Just gonna, and these I'm having some issues with, which is fine. I'll just straighten that out, pull that off, and these, of course, these are too long now, but I'll cut those. And I'm going to cut it down to like that. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to tin the wire. Get the heat up right there. Just soak in some solder. Do this one right here. Okay. So now, what we want to do is get a piece of heat shrink like this, and I'm going to cut this because this is way too long. I don't need that much, so I'll probably cut that amount right there. And do 2 of them around the same size. All right. Okay. And I'm going to stick these on there. Don't forget to put your heat shrink on first before you solder, because that's once you get that solder on there, and you gotta unsolder, you want to put the heat shrink on. So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to take this one off until I need to put it on. And I'm going to put this in this side, grab the other piece, put it in on the other side. And like I was saying, a lot of instructions tell you to intertwine the wire and stuff like that before you solder it, but then you can't pre-tint the wire. And I'm not saying this is better or anything. This is just the way that I do it, and it has worked fine for me over the years. I'm going to get those so that they're close together, and I get this in here, and I'll get it so that it's melting, and it's just that's it. That's simple. The wires are pre-tinned, they have solder in them. You get them hot enough, and that's it. So it does have that big thing sticking out there, and if that's an issue, you can come back and cut that. This is a piece of solder. If you soldered it correctly and it's not a cold solder, it's not going to matter. You could use a pair of pliers and actually crimp that down. I mean, it's solder, it's not a weld, but it is welded together. They're one piece now. So, and the main idea with that is that we don't want it to somehow poke through the heat shrink that we're putting on there. And I get the heat shrink, get this piece, and it just shrinks it down just like that to the other side, and that's it. That's a good connection. I could pull on this, no problem. Okay, so now let's do the other one. Make sure that I get my piece of heat shrink on there. The other side. Get everything lined up as best as possible. Bring in the heat. Let it soak it in, just like that. And that's it. Wrap the heat shrink on it. And heat it up and get it to shrink on there. All the way around, make sure everything's good, and that's it. Very good. So I am gonna go around and do the rest of this. Now on this sensor wire, it does not matter what wire goes to what. And I have this is the connector that we're replacing, and it doesn't matter which wire goes to what because it's a sensor. So you hook it together. It has a closed circuit, and the light comes on saying that the windshield washer fluid is low. The circuit goes open. Windshield washer fluid light stays off. So what I'm gonna do is, I have black to black just because I have black. This one's gonna be brown to blue. It doesn't matter as long as it's going into this connector and that connector fits. let's get this disconnected from this air flap control module actuator. So we can take this off. See if I can get it out. Yeah. I'm trying to just scoot this back. Okay, so we got 3 wires, and we got 3 wires. So it's pretty much straightforward. These right here, I'm gonna have to cut up here because they've been chewed. This one is okay. It goes into, it has a shielding. So I don't know if you can see, but this wire right here is a different gauge than this wire. This is smaller. This is bigger because this actually has a shielding in it, and then right here is where it ends. And they put this heat shrink sort of thing right here to keep it in place. So I'm gonna take this off. This is good. And I just need to cut these ends back. Where was it? That's good. Okay, well that one's good too then. Oh yeah, that's where it fell off. It must have fallen off. So I'll just straighten out these tips and then do the same thing here, and I will solder these together. Okay, that's good, that's good, that's good, it's all good. It looks like we got fluid up to here, so it's not low. So let's try it out. Make sure we don't have a low windshield washer light on. We shouldn't. And make sure that the front and rear windshield washers work. And then we can put the bumper on, and then we'll check and see. It did have a code for this module right here. So let's see if we can clear the code, because before you couldn't clear it. So let's check that out right now. Okay, let's start her up. Oh yeah, I forgot I need to put a battery in this thing. This battery's dying. It did sell a battery. So let's check it out. Windshield washer, oh yeah, they're spraying good. I see no windshield washer low, past service. Yeah, customer doesn't want to fix that. Let's see. So I don't think you can see that back there. Yep, it is definitely squirting. So both front and back. So let's get it back together. Okay, let's get this battery out of here. Come on. There's a reason why I got this particular battery. It's one the parts department gave me. Oh, get in there. Okay, that's fine. It's all good. All right. Okay, so this one's done, and I just need to make sure there's no code set, make sure the codes are clear, and go on a test drive. This one over here, I drove this thing, I let it sit outside running for 3 hours straight. I drove it like I stole it, brought it back, checked it, and there are no oil leaks at all. So I don't know what's going on with this. I guess I failed the challenge. There was a lot of residual oil in there, and maybe that's what the deal was. The oil leak was fixed. They left residual oil in it. The customer kept taking it home, and it kept draining oil all over their garage floor from that residual oil. I'm gonna continue to check this, and if it does have a leak and we need to do a repair, I will bring you back for that repair. But for now, let's get this thing, let's get her on the road and see how she performs. The customer was complaining about the brakes. They felt like the brakes were engaged while they're driving down the road, like kind of like autonomous emergency braking, where the radar would actually tell the vehicle there's something in front and it would slam on the brakes or something like that. I checked out that radar system and there's nothing wrong with it. The battery was really bad though, and you can have all kinds of drivability issues in these Mazdas if the battery is it's not good. It's got to be 100% in these things. So I think that might have been what was causing their issue. It just so happens that finding that rat's nest down there was just a bonus. So I'm gonna check the codes, make sure there are no codes, make sure the codes, clear if there are codes, and take her on the road, see how she performs. Okay, so we got everything done, everything's all buttoned up, and I checked the codes. There are no codes set. It actually had, let me see if I can, I can't remember. I don't remember what code it had. It had code U0284, was set for loss of communication with the active grill air shutter module A, and that is a very uncommon code, and you can see why. There's rat chewing. So let's get her out on the road, see how she performs, see how we can drive through this 5 o'clock traffic. Let's go. Okay guys, tell me something. Have you ever had to deal with a rat's nest in your vehicle? Sometimes it happens. I've dealt with many of them. What about an oil leak? I know an oil leak on a rat's nest. If you had to deal with that, run her on down in the comments. I would love to hear about it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please think about it. I have the next videos coming up. We're going to be looking at a OBS Ford F-150. I guarantee it. We're going to try and get this truck back up out on the road. So for Car Auto Group, Shop Foreman Garage, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.